I am. See, part 9 is up already. I fixed it. Let's go over to my. Oop. That's not what I wanted. Don't want to hear everybody else's. Fine. Okay. So, yesterday I had a headache. So, I didn't get a whole lot done yesterday because I wasn't feeling well. Yeah. It wasn't big, but when it's like right here by your eye, you kind of can't read. I didn't even read the regulators. So I sat and watched a whole lot of videos and darkness and, yeah, you know. So we're almost halfway through this book. The puppies are outside. And I did some vacuuming, which made my floor look so much better. I have dogs and they have muddy feet. So I put down some baking soda and voila, dirt is gone. At least for the most part. I still got a carpet clean spots, but I can't do it all at once. My back doesn't allow me to. So, yeah. There you go. My brain stopped for a second. If my brain pauses, then I can't think, and then, well, it was more than curiosity. I feel like I was being mean, but I wasn't meaning to. I'm sorry. Loudness answering a text. So my puppies are outside. I had to move my beads so I could do my floor, and now they're on my table instead of on my little table. I'm very distracted today. I really am. And for those of you wondering, yes, I have more than one of these shirts, and this is my favorite shirt. So I wash it, I wear it. I wash it, I wear it. Yeah. It's my favorite shirt, but I have a few of them, so I can wear them and wash them and then wear them again if I want. But tomorrow I'll have a different shirt on. I just wanted this one today. So we are going to read more of The Running Man. We have approximately like 110, is it 110 pages left? 110 pages. We're on part 056 minus 056. I don't exactly know what the minus and that means. Like, it's not minutes, and I don't think it's hours, because days pass. So it's almost like it's just a ticking clock ticking down to 0 for some reason. So I guess we'll see. My hair wants to be all over the place today. Instead of like, I can make it stick up, just, you know. But no, I put it up because it's in my way. And like, none of it wants to be on this side. I just don't like it when it's all in one place. I could take it down, but then it's just like all over. So I don't see a point. You know, I am trying to do this. Okay, so I'm trying to do this live, and I keep getting messaged, and I don't even know if the person's watching or not, but it's just really funny, because I don't usually watch the whole thing. So yeah. Anyway, I do want to say hi. I should really like introduce myself every time I get on. Be like, welcome to my live. My name is Lady Rain. How are you? We are just going to chill. We're going to talk. We're going to read. And my voice will annoy you for the next however long I decide to gibby gab. I don't know. I at least want to get like down to 50 from 56. That's my goal. So that's like, you know, quite a few pages. Like, That's a lot. But I'm really like, if I could, I would probably sit here and read the entire thing out, but I would never get anything else done. But I could. But, you know. Yeah. So does anybody remember where we left off with Mr. Richards? Ben Richards is up in... Did they go to New Hampshire? Did they go to Maine? No, they went to Massachusetts. That's where they went. It was Massachusetts, I do believe. Yeah, I'm going back a page. Nope. 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 Actually, I think they're in New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. Yep. They're in New Hampshire. They're in Manchester, New Hampshire, actually. Because the return labels, if they don't get sent speedy delivery to the games, they go back to New Hampshire. So, yeah, they're in New Hampshire. Because remember, when we left off, they Bradley was telling Richards about how to send his packages back down to Boston in Massachusetts, where he was. And then from Boston, Bradley would send them out to the games. So they still thought that they were in Boston, or that he was in Boston. So he actually got up to New Hampshire after getting stopped a couple times without incident. So now we are at the Winthrop House's entrance, where the doorman assisted him in, because remember, now he's got that limp. And he needs to fall into things. So, yeah. All right. So, minus 056 and counting. 2 days passed. Richards played his part well. This is to say, as if his life depended on it. He took dinner at the hotel both nights in his room. He rose at 7, read his Bible in the lobby, and then went out to his meeting. The hotel staff treated him with easy, contemptuous cordiality, the kind reserved for half-blind, fumbling clerics. Remember, he's supposed to be a priest. Who paid their bills. In these days of limited legalized murder, germ warfare in Egypt and South America, and the notorious have one, kill one, excuse me, Nevada abortion law. Okay, I don't like that law. I don't like any of them, but the Pope was a muttering old man of 96 whose driveling edicts concerning such current events were reported as the closing humorous items on the 7 o'clock newsies. Richards held his one-man meetings in the rented library cubicle, where, with the door locked, he was reading about pollution. There was very little information later than 2002, but what there was seemed to gel very badly with what had been written before. The government, as usual, was doing a tardy but efficient job of double thinking. At noon, he made his way down to the luncheonette on the corner of the street, not far from the hotel, bumping into people and excusing himself as he went. Some people told him it was quite all right, Father. Most simply cursed in an uninterested way and pushed him aside. He spent the afternoons in his room and ate dinner watching The Running Man. He had mailed 4 film clips while en route to the library during the mornings. The forwarding from Boston seemed to be going smoothly. The producers of the program had adopted a new tactic for killing Richard's pollution message. He persisted with it in a kind of grinning frenzy. He had to be getting through to the lip readers anyway. Now the crowd drowned out the voice with the rising storms of jeers, screams, obscenities, and vituperation. Yes, my age, and I'm still. What does this even mean? Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Since we don't even know what this means. I don't. Oh, bitter and abusive language. Well, that's what the other word said. What the hell? Yeah, it's abusive and language, which is what obscenities are and screams. Okay, then. Their sound grew increasingly more frenzied, ugly to the point of dementia. In his long afternoons, Richard reflected that an unwilling change had come over him during his 5 days on the run. Bradley had done it. Bradley and the little girl. There was no longer just himself, a lone man fighting for his family, bound to be cut down. Now there were all of them out there, strangling on their own respiration, his family included. He had never been a social man. He had shunned causes with contempt and disgust. They were for pig, simple suckers and people with too much time and money on their hands, like those half-assed college kids with their cute buttons and their neo-rock groups. Richard's father had slunk into the night when Richards was 5. Richards had been too young to remember him in anything but flashes. He had never hated him for it. He understood well enough how a man with a choice between pride and responsibility will always choose pride, if responsibility robs him of his manhood. A man can't stick around and watch his wife earning supper on her back. If a man can't do any more than pimp for a woman he married, Richards judged, he might as well walk out of a high window. He had spent the years between 5 and 16 hustling. He and his brother Todd. His mother had died of syphilis when he was 10 and Todd was 7. Todd had been killed 5 years later when a newsy air truck had lost its emergency brake on a hill while Todd was loading it. The city had fed both mother and son into the municipal crematorium. The kids on the street called it either the ash factory or the creamery. They were bitter but helpless, knowing that they themselves would most likely end up being belched out of the stacks and into the city's air. At 16, Richards was alone, working a full 8-hour shift as an engine wiper after school. And in spite of his back-breaking schedule, he had felt a constant panic that came from knowing he was alone and unknown, drifting free. He woke sometimes at 3 a.m. to the rotted cabbage smell of the one-room tenement flat with terror lodged in the deepest chamber of his soul. He was his own man. And so he had married, and Sheila had spent the first year in proud silence while their friends and Richard's enemies he had made many by his refusal to go along on mass vandalizing expeditions and join a local gang, waiting for the Uterus Express to arrive. Oh. When it didn't, interest flagged. They were left in a particular limbo that was reserved for newlyweds in Co-op City. Few friends in a circle of acquaintances that reached only as far as the stoop of their own building. In case you already don't know, they were waiting for babies. Okay, next. Richards did not mind this. It suited him. He threw himself into his work wholly, with grinning intensity, getting overwhelmed when he could. Oh my God. Yeah, he's getting overwhelmed when he can. Getting overtime when he could. You know, sometimes my brain does not look at what it should. The wages were bad. There was no chance of advancement, and inflation was running wild. But they were in love. They remained in love. And why not? Richards was that kind of solitary man who can afford to expand gigantic charges of love, affection, and perhaps psychic domination of a woman of his choice. Up until that point, his emotions had been almost entirely untouched. In the 11 years of their marriage, they had never argued significantly. He quit his job in 2018 because the chances of ever having children decreased with every shift he spent behind the leaky GA old-style lead shields. He might have been all right if he answered the foreman's aggrieved, "Why are you quitting?" with a lie, but Richards had told him, simply and clearly, what he thought of General Atomics, concluding with an invitation to the foreman to take all his gamma shields and perform a reverse bowel movement with them. Take all the shields and shove them up your ass. It ended in a short, savage scuffle. The foreman was brawny and looked tough, but Richards made him scream like a woman. It's high-pitched, in other words. Never say you do something like a girl because girls are quite tough, but screaming, that high-pitched, telling you. The black ball began to roll. He's dangerous, steer clear. If you need a man bad, put him on for a week and then get rid of him. In GA parlance, Richards had shown red. During the next 5 years, he had spent a lot of time rolling and loading newsies. But the work thinned to a trickle and then died. The Freebie, which, remember, is their TV, killed the printed word very effectively. Ugh. Richards pounded the pavement. Richards was moving along. Richards worked intermittently for day labor outfits. The great movements of the decade passed by him ignored, like ghosts to an unbeliever. He knew nothing of the housewife massacre of 24 until his wife told him about it 3 weeks later. 200 police, armed with Tommy guns and high-powered move-alongs, had turned back an army of women marching on the Southwest Food Depository. 60 had been killed. He was vaguely aware that nerve gas had been used in the Mideast. But none of it affected him. Protests did not work. Violence did not work. The world was what it was, and Ben Richards moved through it like a thin scythe? What do you call that thing that the Grim Reaper has? But it's SC instead of Sith, it's like scythe? Skith? Yeah. Anyway. Asking for nothing, looking for work. He ferreted out 100 miserable day and half-day jobs. He worked cleaning jelly-like slime from under piers. Pliers get slime. But how do they get the slime? It's all the oil working on the cars. Okay. Anyway, jelly like slime from under piers and in sump ditches. Sump ditches. Y'all know what sump ditches are, right? When others on the street. Sump ditches they're kind of like our ditches, and if you don't know what a sump pump is, it basically pulls water like out of a basement or out of a room or out of a hole. So if you think of it that way, it is probably something that they use to keep like maybe water off their streets, and then they pump it into the ditches. So with that, he worked cleaning jelly-like slime from under piers and in sump ditches when others on the street, who honestly believed they were looking for work, did nothing. So, yeah, he was cleaning. It'd kind of be like working in our sewers pretty much, because our water goes straight into the gutters, the drains, which goes into the sewers. So if ours goes into that way and they don't have drains anymore, then they have these ditches, and you get the idea. It's actually pumped off. You get it. Yeah. Anyway, I go on little tangents, my bad. Move along, maggot. Get lost, no job. Get out. Put on your boogie shoes. I'll blow your effing head off, Daddy. Move. Then the job's dried up. Impossible to find anything. A rich man in a silk singlet, drunk, accosted him on the street one evening as Richards shambled home after a fruitless day, and told him he would give Richards $10 new if Richards would pull down his pants so he could see if the street freaks really did have peckers a foot long. Richards knocked him down and ran. Who would want a foot-long one? Really? Do y'all really understand that? I'm not going to get into that conversation right now, but just, we'll have that conversation another day. It was then, after 9 years of trying, that Sheila conceived. He was a wiper, the people in the building said. Can you believe he was a wiper for 6 years and knocked her up? It'll be a monster, the people in the building said. It'll have 2 heads and no eyes. Radiation, radiation, your children will be monsters. But instead, it was Kathy. Round, perfect, squalling, delivered by a midwife from down the block who took 50 cents and 4 cans of beans. And now, for the first time since his brother had died, he was drifting again. I don't know when. Every pressure, even temporary, the pressure of the chase, had been removed. His mind, in his anger, turned toward the Games Federation, with their huge and potent communications link to the whole world. Fat people with nose filters, spending their evenings with dollies and silk underpants, like the guillotine fall, and fall, and fall. Yet there was no way to get them. They towered above all of them dimly, like the Games building itself. Yet, because he was who he was, and because he was alone and changing, he thought about it. He was unaware, alone in his room, that while he thought about it, he grinned a huge white wolf grin. That in itself seemed powerful enough to buckle streets and melt buildings. The same smile he had worn on that almost forgotten day when he had knocked a rich man down and then fled with his pockets empty and his mind burning. Men with an ego, we're going to pause there for a second and go back on what I said. Men with an ego need to understand that ain't happening. Just, no. No. So, it would be comparable. The rich men compared to Co-op City would be, I guess, kind of like, our Congress and our senators, unfortunately, being people that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, whether it's 100,000, whether it's 200,000, I don't know. But it would be comparable to that, even $90,000 to $100,000 a year, because you got to think the president makes $400,000. He runs a country. But I don't know if he really snubs his nose at everybody. But those people that you see along the street that are driven, that could care less what other people think, that don't care. In other words, they don't care that people are starving. They don't care that people need things. And you have this quote unquote hobo that comes along because they're dirty dressed. They've just gotten out of work at a shop, or they, haven't been able to do anything because they're looking for a job and can't find a job, but they've lost their home and they're out in the street and they pass each other. So that rich man is going to ask that poor man to do something to help him make money. That poor man says, screw you, and runs off. So that's the comparison there to today's society, because this society in their future is run by one world government owned by a corporation, which is where the games building federation comes in. But just the fact that he said foot long, I'm like, why? Why would you even be jealous of that? Like, why would you even want it? Why? The things, yes, I know it's a book. But if you think about the characters, like, well, why would you even know? You know what? Just don't think about it. Don't get your ego going. Don't wonder if somebody has a foot long, because I'm going to tell you right now, nobody uses it all. End of story. Okay?
What are you getting on about in that book? I know I heard government run by corporation.
Then the jobs dried up, impossible to find anything. A rich man in a silk singlet, drunk, accosted him on the street one evening as Richards shambled home after a fruitless day, and told him he would give Richards $10 new, which are worth more than the old dollars, if Richards would pull his pants down so he could see if the street freaks really did have peckers a foot long. Richards knocked him down and ran. Do you have a ruler? Do you have...
Yeah, please don't get the image in my head.
Turn around for a second. This is a notebook. This is 11. Now, take your little egos and shove them away.
I look at them.
She's like, oh my God, Mom. Okay. So, there. Like, this is my mind today. I don't even care, but, like, there's a disclaimer on my videos that the stuff in here, it can be, if you guys want to know what it actually says, like my disclaimer says. My disclaimer is like, oh my God, what is she barking at? Back or side? Some language from the Running Man novel we are reading may be offensive to some people. Viewer discretion is advised. Recommended for viewers 18 years of age and older. Vulgarity and racist slurs, which is pretty much what it's been. The Bauchman books were written by Richard Bauchman, aka Stephen King. We are reading a few more sections today from the Running Man. Now, that in itself. Okay. Now, understanding that Men have such egos, and I run into them a lot. It could be whether you run into them on a social platform, whether you run into them on a game that you play, like, not games that you play by yourself, but games that you play, like, with multiplayers. Platforms where you have spammers. You're going to come across all kinds of ignorant people. It's why one of my favorite songs is Don't Want No Short Man. Don't want no short dick man. Yeah, we're going to need tweezers, not, a ruler. So, let's take our little egos. And I think that's going to be my attitude for the day. Anyway. And it's not meant to be offensive. I mean, if you're, you pack it fine, but don't assume that this is what I don't understand about this whole section here. It's hilarious, don't get me wrong, because obviously if he really wants to see if the freaks have it, then he must need tweezers. But why would you want to pay somebody to see that? First of all, that would be scary. Second of all, the guy's a dick. Third of all, when he pushed him, I hope he fell in the mud face first. Yeah. Telling you. I don't usually get this, like... Do we not have milk? Really? We're out of milk? You know what her problem is, right? You don't know what her problem is? Mm-hmm. Go look in the bag. Go look in the dog food bag.
Oh.
We gotta go to the store. Yeah.
Well, Harley's starting to get into heat.
What?
Harley's starting to get into heat.
What do you mean?
Every time Timber tries.
I thought she was already in. Oh, so she's coming out and she's going, oh. That kind of explains a lot. Yeah, that would explain a lot. Hi, Mouth. Did you get enough exercise out there? She's like, I'm laying down. Leave me alone. What are you doing? You want to say hi? Come here. Come here. Come here. Up. Come here. Up. Oh, there you go. You want to say hi? No, you don't need her food. No, you don't. Look at that tongue. You got a big, long tongue. Oh, you're my baby. You just need to lose the hyperness. Go like that. If I pull her cheeks out, she looks just like her daddy. Yes, we will go get you food. Let Belle. Oh my God. I almost started calling you Hazel. Listen. Let Belle wake up and get food, because if not, then she will faint out when she's trying to get your food. And then I will talk to the dad about going to take you out to the store. And he's not. All right, give me a second. La 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 la.
I'll have Smear's cat up on the front porch, just in case he's hungry.
He will sit under that porch, meowing that he wants in, rearing that he wants in. Then when you try to bring him in, he takes off.
He'll be hungry enough to get up on the porch and start smelling food.
But he's a dick. Telling you. That cat does it on purpose.
He does it for chicken.
I don't know. I lost my job at the donut shop. I just lost my job at the donut shop. You know what? I'm actually going to screenshot this and send this to a friend because that's just too funny. Now, I need to find out if he will take her to the store, so. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. There. Okay. Now, I'm going to send my friend something. And yeah, he's probably watching. So, let's see. Picture. There you go. Well, crap. I can't even sit here and be like, oh, guess what? Ah, okay. My God. There. Yes, sometimes I have to answer questions and do all that kind of stuff. Why is my crap not working? There it goes. All right, there we go. Yeah, I'm gonna hit my pen and it's gonna go that way. Wait. So, a friend of mine is going through a really tough time right now. Okay. And so I wanted to make sure they were okay. So I wrote them this morning. And I asked how they were doing. And so they're like in the UK, right? So he's going through a tough time. And I told him, I said, I'm live. And he's like, but. Okay. So anyway, they're going through a really rough time. And so I'm always there. And I told them, I said, vent. I know exactly what he's going through because I've gone through it. For different reasons, but I've gone through it. And it's really hard to watch one of your friends go through difficult times, especially when it's life-changing. When you have to start over, when you have to lose everything because the other person has decided that they want to move on with their life without you. So, anyway, so I told them, I said, vent to me. And so they did a lot, which was good. Anyway, I was really happy because when they get off work, they're actually walking through the city. That's a good thing. they don't usually get out. They go home and they sit. And that's not a good place to be when you are kind of stuck in the same situation without being able to have the same relationship with the person that you're stuck in that house with. So it was just really nice to see, to hear, to read, whatever you want to say, that they were able to get out and walk. I'm waiting for the laugh because I know darn well it's coming. So anyway, I think it was good that they could get out and about and yeah, I'm kind of making sure they're okay before I get back on. I'm going to continue. We're not going to stop. I just want to make sure, like, this is, you know, I don't hide my, well, I kind of hide my life, but I don't hide, like, I have 4 kids, 3 living at home, 4 dogs, one of which does not have a lot of activity. One is really tiny small. Okay, not tiny small, but we're talking like the size of what? What the hell is his size? Timber. He's bigger than a Pomeranian, but he's
Because they're a small, medium dog.
small, medium dog. Kind of like a beagle? Pug! A pug! The size of a pug. Oh, shit!
Hi.
Sorry.
Go down. Joy.
I hope I didn't just blow y'all's ears out.
You're getting the best.
I saw the dogs run. Get her outside.
Okay.
Or up with Dad, one of the two.
I
I wasn't expecting my son home for another hour. So when I heard the door, I thought, oh my God, they're going to walk in. The dogs are going to go. They were already out there barking, so if she doesn't go out, she can go upstairs. As soon as I said something, everybody went, vroom. Although yelling just doesn't. So yeah, I apologize for that because I heard the door and that was an automatic reaction. Anyway, so yes, my friend is doing much better, and that's what I wanted to make sure of. So it also that oh shit keeps them from opening the door.
Can I have the chicken that's in the fridge?
No, we're not making chicken. That's for dinner.
Oh, I was going to have it for lunch.
Make some macaroni. If you make macaroni, then you can put butter on it, and then you can add cheese. Isn't there cheese left?
Or just have something to do.
Yes, well, the chicken is for dinner.
Unfortunately, we don't get much.
The chicken is for dinner. The chicken's for dinner. We have pasta. Make some.
Sound like this. Yeah, no.
What are we talking about?
The same. It's a potato cheesy kind of style.
Belle? Isn't there some powdered milk in there?
There is, good luck.
But Dad might want the potatoes tonight, Nick. So why don't you make macaroni with Parmesan and butter?
I only got enough. Like, I don't.
No, we're fine.
I only got enough to get care of
We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Shh. Listen, we're fine. Anyway, I apologize for blowing your ears out. It just stops everybody in their tracks.
Come on. I can make this.
Do you need milk?
Let me see.
If so, you're gonna have to make the powdered milk.
It needs chicken.
Doesn't necessarily need chicken.
Just a pound uncooked.
Let me have it.
It says in the back.
It's because it's called Alfredo sauce dinner mix. Okay, there's pasta in here. All right.
Yeah.
And what you would need to do is add 2 cups of milk, a half cup of hot water.
You don't have it.
Exactly. So I tried to tell you to make macaroni.
I'm tired of having macaroni.
When was the last time you had macaroni? How are you tired of it?
I don't know how I'm not tired.
What?
I don't know how I'm not tired of it.
Is it macaroni and cheese? I'm making him think.
With that one.
We have powdered milk, and that doesn't use a whole lot.
It's in bread. Powder milk.
I'll be right back. Excuse me.
I figured CVS would be out of the house.
What?
Did
you get an email back?
No, I went on there. You know, look at my switch application.
That's not this. The one that was in English.
It's Spanish.
Not the question. Just one part of
Oh, I don't know what they're looking
Seriously?
What?
When are you going to get with this?
Next one. Yes, which is why when I tell you that you need to choose something that I'm not letting you choose, you need to choose something that, I say choose something else, it's because I have plans for what you're wanting.
How about the cake sauce?
It's for pasta.
Yeah, no.
Are you going to make macaroni?
Yeah, with pasta.
Okay. If you're going to make macaroni, then you may make that jar of that can of sauce.
There's one for me, right?
Oh,
there's only one. That was the only one that was.
I'm not talking about the sauce. I'm not talking about the sauce. I'm talking about the macaroni. You're going to make one. One is fine, but don't make it because you want to eat the whole box, honey. What other kind of pasta is there?
That's the only pasta.
No, it's not.
Look, try it on the bottom.
What's this stuff? There's
No, not that kind of pasta.
macaroni, and there's macaroni cheese, and there's shells. Well, you know what? Have shells we can make tonight. We have elbows we can make tonight.
Maybe both.
No, we're only making one. But yes, you can make this. Are you listening?
I got an idea. You can switch it.
Which what? What's that? You want to make shells right now?
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'll switch it.
Does anybody know where my small Kool-Aid containers went? Yes, I don't see them. Find a bit to that thing. I know there's a leg. It's a big bit. You know what the small container is?
I have no idea.
Look, do you see this one?
Yeah.
Look, small. Yeah.
The Dollar General that is hiring is the one here.
Let's see that. Yeah, that's the one that's across from theater and by It's fine. Okay, don't open this like, you know. That's milk. Now we got the milk. So, you're going to make this just like macaroni. So, you start with water in your pot, right? Excuse me.
Maybe after this, if I don't get it in a week, I'll see if there's any kennel cleaners for vet places nearby.
Okay, we can do that.
Usually those
Hey,
only need
look at that. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. Oh, good. They finally give us the ball. All right, so, what? What are you talking about?
I'm tired of washing a pot.
Yeah, well, guess what? That's what you do. When you use things, you have to wash them.
Or maybe use this thing.
No, that is too big.
I know, but
Did you look in the dishwasher?
that's only. Just let me show you over here.
Did you look in the drainer?
Let me do something.
Don't yell at me.
There's only a bowl and a drainer.
Where's the rest of the pots?
In the sink, like always.
Well, then wash a pot.
I have washing one. Honest, it's soaking. Oh
No, there. I'm gonna hurt this child. Watch your on me, please. I don't want to hurt you. You need to stop because this attitude that you enjoy giving me is going to stop. Close that.
That one is what's from popcorn.
Don't.
There's only a small one.
You know, if you actually get back there and pull the pots out, you might find one that pull the pots out.
Just let me move these out of the way.
That's for your sauce.
I think it's too big. That's being.
Put it up there.
The thing.
Now get the other ones out of the corner.
Can you?
I can't do anything. Move them out of the corner. I'm not dealing with your attitude today. I dealt with it enough yesterday. They're still in the corner. This is what happens when you just throw things in there.
Stack.
What?
Oh, stack.
Oh, no. Stack them is fine. But if you don't stack them, you just throw them in there. That's what happens. No, put that back in there. What are you doing? You stack them.
There's only these ones and that one.
Put that red one in there.
Honest, I'm saying this too. There's no big pot.
You don't need a big pot.
You
don't need a big pot.
Don't drag me into this.
For a big pot.
Take the drainer. Drainer. Not the drainer. Strainer. Now move this. I need to be able to walk back in there. I really don't want to have to use it on you. I'll do like the old ladies do. I'm gonna hit you with your pie. You ever see that on TV? In the cartoons, they grab that cast iron and they're like, "I'm gonna come after you," and they go running. You laughing?
Yeah.
I got cast iron right now. Sauce. Macaroni. You're not going to use the whole box. Not going to use the whole box.
I thought Belle was going to share with that. Because that's
if we have to, we'll make more.
What?
Okay, Belle? Do you want macaroni?
Probably just like a scoop or something.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm only going to have him put, we're not putting it in yet. We're just going to put in a couple cups because we don't have a big pan and he's refusing to wash them right now. So, we're just going to start here.
So
That's actually not. What?
that's the reason why we should get a mini.
No, it's the reason that maybe Nicholas should help out with the dishes and wash them. But I have somebody else who's going to wash them instead.
Oh, what's I doing? I didn't hear anything.
Oh, he's listening downstairs. Did you hear me? I had the block in my hand, and I'm like, "We're gonna go and do that." See that wall? I want pants to match. That's what I'm gonna save up for. Lid. Yes, I can hear you. Excuse you. That is my earbud. Nick does not want to agitate me today. No.
Oh no.
You better give me that earbud.
It's in his shirt.
Give me the earbuds. I need them. Yes, I do.
You got it. No, I did not.
You dropped it if it's in your shirt.
It's right here.
No, there's another one. Where'd you put the other one? Where'd you put it?
This has it.
No, he better not.
See.
Where is it? Where is it?
Behind you.
Where?
Behind you.
It's not my shirt.
Behind you.
Where?
Behind you.
There's a lot of behinds me.
Hey. You do a dance, right?
No, there's no way. Why did you drop it?
It fell.
Nick, throw that mustard away. Alright, put a lid on your
Oh,
macaroni.
he did it.
For that.
Oh, abuse! Abuse! Did you see that? She hit me with this.
It wasn't on purpose. Where'd you go? Did you get it? Where'd you get it? Oh!
I'm back there.
Me? What's this for? On. Yeah, he's been in the mud. Well, it's not mud, but it's dirt.
The sink at least one of the sinks is cleaned out.
Who's up there? Who is it? Back electric mud? Novel. Novel's the one that hardly ever moves. She's like, I ain't going in there. There's dogs. Okay. He took my earbuds and took off with them. Like, what the hell, man? It blocks out sound so I can read better. And so he had this pole of like a dowel rod. Grabbed a hold of it and accidentally hit him right here in the head. That's what he was yelling about. But yes, I get very strict with my... I have to. It sucks. I feel like I'm yelling all the time. Please put away the pots and pans that are on the counter. The strainer. Yeah, that one with all that stuff in it, that needs to go back in the cupboard. Don't start the sauce until you're... Did you already put the sauce in?
No, I just put the lid on it.
Well, don't start the sauce until you get your pasta in, okay?
Okay.
What happened?
Ow.
Did you stick it in the wok?
Dream.
So why are you being all angry?
Thank you.
Why don't you want to wash a pot?
So I can not just lose my anger. Yeah, the ash.
Okay, how would washing a pot make you lose your temper?
Give me a second.
Why would you lose your temper by washing a pot? No answer. Bill? I'm going to have to go meditate today. The dogs are barking, but I'm going to keep trying now. Now that I'm, I think done beating everybody up. Oops. Beating people up.
Okay. Wow.
All right.
While food is cooking.
We are going to start 055. And it's uh-huh. Okay. So
what?
I can understand why somebody else would drink.
Thanks.
Yes, I'm drinking coffee.
Oh, thank you.
And it's lukewarm. It went down the wrong pipe. Yeah, I have a blanket here because if I don't, the dogs are like way up here barking in the window. So I keep the blanket on it, which is it's my upside down horse blanket, but I keep the blanket here, and the dogs, they can only open a little bit and peek out. But if they get up here, I can, knock them back because they can't get over here where my desk is. So. Shall we go? Why?
Come on, ready, dogs?
Who are they barking? You know what? They need to go downstairs.
There's no one here.
Nick, go out, close the doors behind you, and try to get them down.
I think I should just for a moment.
And try to get them downstairs.
What I'm going to do is to take hard upstairs to dad.
You're not listening. You're not listening to what I even want you to do. You are completely ignoring what I'm asking you to do. I am asking you to close the doors behind you and put them downstairs. Do not bring them in. And there goes the door closed. Ignored me completely.
No, he closed the inside door.
Yeah, he completely ignored because he didn't want to hear what I had to say. No, he wants to bring him in, and I told him no. That might have been my hubby. I put him on speaker.
Dogs are down the stairs.
Okay. Where's Nick?
Oh, get put my thumbs up.
Yellow.
I might need you to have a talk with Nick. I might need you to have a talk with Nick before you go to work.
Why?
Because he's literally cutting me off, not listening. Belle went outside and he finally listened. I asked him to put the dogs downstairs. He wanted to bring them in and I told him no. In the middle of me trying to explain what I wanted him to do, he cut me off a few times. In the middle of me explaining what I wanted him to do, he cut me off. Completely stopped me from talking. Well, when I finally did get to talking, he completely ignored me and walked away from me in the middle of me talking. So I'm still talking when he shut the door.
Right.
So Belle went out. The dogs are downstairs. But the fact that he's not even bothering to try to listen to me, If he's going to keep going with this I'm superior to mom crap, he's going to lose stuff. Because I can't deal with that.
I know.
And I don't understand why he's doing it.
Morning.
Put 2 cups of macaroni in.
Can you hit me with that, please?
The cup is over on the drainer. Look at the glass cup over on the drainer.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. 2 of those.
I'll see what I can do.
I know. He's not listening to you to listen to me either.
I cannot fit it.
Most likely, all he's going to tell
pour
me
it
is,
in.
I don't know.
Well, maybe you do it.
Okay.
Just saying.
Fine, then just dump some in. Like half a box. Or however much you think you're going to eat. He's making pasta for his dinner, for his lunch.
Okay, that's fine.
And I'm making him cook it. Telling him what to do. And it's working so far. I even made powdered milk in case they needed it. But I think it's my last packet. Anyway, the dogs are probably down there playing because when Timber barks, it's usually either I want in or everybody's playing. So I am doing my best to keep my own temper down and not yell at him. And I've already gotten stern with him.
Yeah.
There's a black fly in the mug.
It's a fly.
No, it's not a tiny one. It looks like a big one.
Does it look like a bee?
Kinda.
That would probably be the tiger bee fly. It's a fly. Just leave it there. I'll get it. Dear Lord, help me.
I'm going to let you go.
Okay. Love you.
Okay.
Love you too.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye.
Oh, that's...
You need to lower the temperature.
Oh, I need someone to...
Turn it down.
And you need to stir the noodles.
Let's put it in.
There's the explanation. Okay. So, yeah, let's keep reading. Sometimes I need a little help because if I don't, then I'm just going to crack. So, minus 055 and counting. Monday was exactly the same as Sunday. The working world took no one particular day off anymore until 6:30. Can opener. And for anybody wondering, he's 21 and he's been learning to cook since he was what? 16, 17? Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. So, unless I know he can't do it, he's going to learn.
Oh, come on. Seriously? You know what? I'm leaving it.
I told you to turn it down.
I did, but...
There, now stir with a spoon.
I'm trying to get this thing open.
Your sauce is not going anywhere.
I'm trying to open it and put it in.
That's fine.
I was about to open it.
That's fine. Bless you. Bless you. Did your dad say when you guys were leaving?
No.
Okay. Father Ogden Grasner had Meatloaf Supreme send up the hotel's cuisine, which would have, bless you, seemed execrable to a man who had been weaned on anything better than fast food hamburgers and concentrate pills, tasted great to Richard. With a bottle of Thunderbird wine and settled down to watch The Running Man, The first segment, dealing with Richards himself, went much as it had the 2 nights previous. The audio on his clips was drowned out by the studio audience. Bobby Thompson was urbane and virulent. A house-to-house search was taking place in Boston. Anyone found harboring the fugitive would be put to death. Richard smiled and without humor as they faded to the network promo. It wasn't so bad. It was even funny, in a limited way. He could stand anything if they didn't broadcast the cops again. The second half of the program was markedly different. Thompson was smiling broadly. After the latest tapes sent to us by the monster that goes under the name of Ben Richards, I am pleased to give you some good news. They had gotten Laughlin. He had been spotted in Topeka on Friday, but an intensive search of the city on Saturday and Sunday had not turned him up. Richards had assumed that Laughlin had slipped through the cordon as he had himself, but this afternoon, Laughlin had been observed by 2 kids. He had been cowering in a highway department road shed. He had broken his right wrist at some point. The kids, Bobby and Mary Cowles, were shown grinning broadly into the camera. Bobby Cowles had a tooth missing. I wonder if the tooth fairy brought him a quarter, Richards thought sickly. Thompson announced proudly that Bobby and Mary, Topeka's #1 citizens, would be on the Running Man tomorrow night to be presented certificates of merit, a lifetime supply of Fun Twinks cereal, and checks for $1,000 new each by Hisner, the governor of Kansas. This brought wild cheers from the audience. Following were tapes of Laughlin's riddled, sagging body being carried out of the shed, which had been reduced to matchwood by concentrated fire. There were mingled cheers, boos, and hisses from the studio audience. Richards turned away sickly, nauseated. Thin, invisible fingers seemed to press against his temples. From a distance, the words rolled on. The body was being displayed in the rotunda of the Kansas State House. Already, long lines of citizens were filing past the body. An interviewed policeman who had been in at the kill said Laughlin hadn't put up much of a fight. Oh, how nice for you, Richards thought, remembering Laughlin. His sour voice, a straight head, jeering look in his eyes. A friend of mine from the carpool. Now, there was only one big show. The big show was Ben Richards. He didn't want any more of his meatloaf supreme. Okay. Minus 5-4 and counting. What is your problem now?
I'm trying to cook it.
I told you to turn it down and you turned it back up.
I like doing it my way.
Yeah, and you're going to burn it.
If I turn it down, it would lower the heat.
It'll keep it from burning because you're going to have to stir it more often.
The only way to stir it is to let it boil going up.
Then let it boil going up, but take the lid off. I don't know, but I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to burn it. It's almost done.
It feels hard from the back.
Oh, did you taste it?
No, I just touch it, like press it down, and it's
How did you press it down?
with my finger.
On a spoon?
No, my finger. Like press it and.
Did you press it on the spoon?
Oh, I never did that.
Then you touch the hot water.
I use this to, Alright.
Okay, you're gonna have to show me what you did. Try a piece.
I can't get hot.
Oh, but you expect me to stick the hot in my mouth?
Yeah, just press it from the tip.
Yeah, you're right. It's not done yet. It's a little thicker than the other stuff.
Yeah, I think we may have to put it for more time. That's why I want to put it in the highest amount without burning. This one here is not going to be good enough. So it makes it more not steam. The higher it gets, the higher the heat's going.
Yeah.
That means you have to let it boil, let it burn. That's why I want to just let the bubbles go through the bottom. Not the bottom, the sides. Up to there.
Put it back down. And then just lift it up each time and then try it again in a couple minutes. 0.5.
That's why I want to use a pot. A big one.
Now, well, if you'd have washed it, you would have been able to. But that's going to be just fine. There's no reason you can't use that pot. Pick it up. Stir it. Any sticking?
I just don't feel anything.
Good. Touch it.
I can't. I'm trying to do this. See? It won't work. The only way
Then use a fork. Stab it with a fork. Is it hard?
Squishy.
Is it squishy?
Look. When you press it down, when you press this with this.
Oh, hold on.
And it's breakable. Is it done? Or almost?
Actually, it's not bad.
Meaning it's done.
Yeah. You still got to drain it. And you're going to need a pot holder. Soft enough?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Turn it off. There you go. Now get the drainer.
I need to move.
Or strainer. Those two have always given me problems. It's going to be a long day, I'm telling you. Minus 0.54 and counting. He had a very bad dream that night, which was unusual. The old Ben Richards had never dreamed. What was even more peculiar was the fact that he did not exist as a character in the dream. He only watched, invisible. The room was vague, dimming off to blackness at the edges of vision. It seemed that water was dripping dankly. Richards had an impression of being deep underground. In the center of the room, Bradley was sitting in a straight wooden chair with leather straps under his arms and legs, over his arms and legs. His head had been shaved like that of a penitent. Surrounding him were figures in black hoods. The hunters, Richards thought, with budding dread. Oh, dear God, these are the hunters. I ain't that man, Bradley said. Yes, you are, little brother, one of the hooded figures said gently, and pushed a pin through Bradley's cheek. Bradley screamed, Are you the man? Suck it. Pin slid easily into Bradley's eyeball and was withdrawn, dribbling colorless fluid. Bradley's eye took on a punched, flattened look. Are you the man? Poke it up your ass. An electric move along touched Bradley's neck. He screamed again, and his hair stood on end.
If it's done, because I just turn off the.
Is it hot?
Yeah.
Did you touch it? Then it's done.
Yeah.
There you go. Did you drain your macaroni?
Yeah.
How do you like this attitude today, huh? If he doesn't get it his way, he gets mad. Oh yeah.
It always seems like that's always an issue.
Mm-hmm. I do my best not to raise my voice to him, but sometimes I just want to go.
I get it. It's
yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Oy.
He did pretty good today. I got him to play some air hockey and pool a little bit longer. So that was good.
Well, at least he did better.
Yeah. I think he was ready to go this morning. That was awesome.
Yeah. He got up all by himself. I waited till 8:30, and right as the alarm went off, he was ready to go. And I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Have fun. Didn't even have to get him up. Told him to get in the shower, get dressed, and he was ready to go. I do apologize. There's vulgarity and racial slurs in this book.
Oh, that was fun.
Just so you know. I had to put a disclaimer in my videos because of it. Yeah, it's too funny. And make your pasta. An electric move along touched Bradley's neck. He screamed again, and his hair stood on end. He looked like.
Put butter in.
Just use your spoon. Use the macaroni spoon and scoop some butter out of that tub.
I'm going.
Wait, why are you putting butter on if you're using sauce?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
I mean, you can if you want. I'm just saying.
Can I combine these two together in one thing?
Yeah, but you're going to need to do it slowly, and you're going to need to use a pot holder. So what you do is you use the pot holder and pour it in.
Slowly?
If it gets too full, there you go. Now, carefully.
Is this going to be like this?
It's all right. It's all right. I can see it, Nick. I can see the pasta. If you hold it sideways,
Look closer
you can
from
always
this
use
part.
the spoon. Hey! You can always use a spoon.
He did that.
Yeah, because that's a hot pan and you were getting close to my fingers. You can use the spoon to knock it down and put it in, or you can leave it there. Now, listen. Use the pot holder to hold the pot because it's hot. And then stir carefully. Switch hands if you need to.
I'm trying to do one thing.
Okay. Scare me. And his hair stood on end. He looked like a... What are you doing? I thought it was in the fridge.
Oh, never mind, found it.
Please don't use it all. Please don't use it all.
No, seriously, it's almost out.
Let me see. Yeah, you shouldn't have to use it all. Let's try this one more time. He looked like a chemical caricature, black, futuristic. Step and fetch it. Are you the man, little brother? Nose filters give you cancer, Bradley said. You're all rotted inside, honkies. His other eyeball was pierced. Are you the man? Bradley, blind, laughed at them. One of the hooded figures gestured, and from the shadows, Bobby and Mary Cowles came tripping gaily. Tripping gaily. They began to skip around Bradley, singing, "Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf." Bradley began to scream and twist in the chair. He seemed to be trying to hold his hands up in a warding off gesture. The song grew louder and louder, more echoing. The children were changing. Their heads were elongating, growing dark with blood. Their mouths were opening in the caves, and in the caves within, fangs twinkled like razor blades. Go eat. Yeah, put it in a bowl and eat. Thank you for putting your cough in your elbow. I appreciate that. Fangs twinkled like razor blades. "I'll tell," Bradley screamed. "I'll tell, I'll tell. I ain't the man. Ben Richards is the man. I'll tell. God, oh, God. Where is the man, little brother? I'll tell. He's in..." But the words were drowned by the singing voices. They were lunging toward Bradley's straining, warded neck when Richard spoke up, sweating. -053 and counting. It was no good in Manchester anymore. He didn't know if it was the news of Laughlin's brutal Midwestern end, or the dream, or only a premonition. But on Tuesday morning he stayed in, not going to the library. It seemed to him that every minute he stayed in this place was an invitation to quick doom. Looking out the window, he saw a hunter with a black hood inside every old beaner and slumped taxi driver. Fantasies of gunmen creeping soundlessly up the hall toward the door tortured him. He felt a huge clock was ticking in his head. He passed the point of indecision shortly after 11 o'clock on Tuesday morning. It was impossible to stay. He knew they knew. He got his cane and tapped clumsily to the elevators and went down to the lobby. "Going out, Father Grassner?" the day clerk asked with his usual pleasant, contemptuous smile. "Day off," Richard said, speaking at the day clerk's shoulder. "Is there a picture show in this town?" He knew there were at least 10, 8 of them showing 3D Perverto shows. "Well," the clerk said cautiously, "there's the Center. I think they're showing Disney's." "That will be fine," Richard said briskly, and bumped into a potted plant on his way out. 2 blocks from the hotel, he went into a drugstore and bought a huge roll of bandage and a pair of cheap aluminum crutches. What?
I watch it on TV.
Yeah? You gotta make sure it's okay with Bryce.
It's okay. It's okay. Watch TV.
Yeah.
He cooked it all by himself?
Yeah. There's plenty for another person.
Okay.
It means I can have some.
All right. The clerk put his purchases in a long fiberboard box, and Richards caught a taxi on the next corner. The car was exactly where it had been, and if there was a stakeout at the U-Park-It, Richards could not spot it. He got in and started up. He had a bad moment when he realized he lacked a driver's license in any name that wasn't hot, and then dismissed it. He didn't think his new disguise would get him past close scrutiny anyway. If there were roadblocks, he would try to crash them. It would get him killed, but he was going to get killed anyway if they tabbed him. He tossed the Ogden Grassner glasses in the glove box and drove out, waving noncommittally at the boy on duty at the gate. The boy barely looked up from the skin magazine he was reading. Yeah, Perverto. He stopped for a full compressed air charge on the hill, a high-speed urban sprawl on the northern outskirts of the city. The air jockey was in the midst of a volcanic eruption of acne and seemed pathetically anxious to avoid looking at Richards. So far, so good. He switched from 91 to Route 17, and from there to a blacktop road with no name or number. 3 miles further along, he pulled onto a rutted dirt turnaround and killed the engine. Tilting the rearview mirror to a right angle, he wrapped the bandage around his skull as quickly as he could, holding the end and clipping it. A bird twittered restlessly in the tired-looking elm. Not too bad. If he got breathing time in Portland, he could add a neck brace. He put the crutches beside him on the seat and started the car. 40 minutes later, he was entering the traffic circle at Portsmouth. Headed up Route 95, he reached into his pocket and pulled out the crumpled piece of ruled paper that Bradley had left him. He had written on it in the careful script of the self-educated, using the soft lead pencil, 94 State Street, Portland, the Blue Doors, guests, Elton Pericus and Virginia Pericus. Richards frowned at it a moment, then glanced up. A black and yellow police unit was cruising slowly above the traffic on the turnpike, in tandem with a heavy ground unit below. They bracketed him for a moment and then were gone, zigzagged across the 6 lanes in a graceful bullet, routine traffic patrol. As the miles passed, a queasy, almost reluctant sense of relief formed in his chest. It made him feel like laughing and throwing up at the same time. Minus 052 and counting. The drive to Portland was without incident, but by the time he reached the edge of the city, driving through the built-in suburbs of Scarborough, rich homes, rich streets, rich private schools, surrounded by electrified fences, the sense of relief had begun to fade again. They could be anywhere. They could be all around him, or they could be nowhere. State Street was an area of blasted, ancient brownstones, not far from an overgrown, jungle-like park. A hangout, Richards thought, for this small city's maggots, lovers, pipes, and thieves. No one would venture out to State Street after dark without a police dog on a leash, or a score of fellow gang members. Number 94 was a crumbling, soot-encrusted building with ancient green shades pulled down over its windows. To Richards, the house looked like a very old man who had died with cataracts on his eyes. He pulled to the curb and got out. The street was dotted with abandoned air cars, some of them rusted down to almost formless hunks. On the edge of the park, a Studebaker lay on its side like a dead dog. This was not police country, obviously. If you left your car unattended, it would gain a clot of leaning, spitting, slate-eyed boys in 15 minutes. In half an hour, some of the leaning boys would have produced crowbars and wrenches and screwdrivers. They would have tapped them, compare them, twirl them, have mock sword fights with them. They would hold them up into the air thoughtfully, as if testing the weather or receiving mysterious radio transmissions through them. In an hour, the car would be a stripped carcass, from air caps and cylinders to the steering wheel itself. A small boy ran up to Richards as he was setting his crutches under himself. Puckered, shiny, burn scars had turned one side of the boy's face into a hairless Frankenstein horror. "Skag, mister? Good stuff. Put you on the moon." He giggled secretly. The lumped and knotted flesh of his burnt face bobbed and writhing grotesquely. "Fuck off," Richard said briefly. The boy tried to kick one of his crutches out from under him, and Richard swung one of them in a low arch, swatting the boy's bottom. He ran off, cursing. He made his way up the pitted stone steps slowly and looked at the door. It had once been blue, but now the paint had faded and peeled to a tired desert sky color. There had been once a doorbell, but some vandal had taken care of that with a cold chisel.
And my messy little behind me. This is my desk. I'm going to turn it up a little bit because I need to relax my back a little. So we're just going to chill. As my little bun here. Minus 052. Oh, no, wait. Oh, I'm over here. But some vandal had taken care of that with a cold chisel. Richards knocked and waited. Nothing. He knocked again. It was late afternoon now, and cold was creeping slowly up the street. Faintly, from the park beyond the end of the block, came the bitter clacking of October branches losing their leaves. There was no one here. It was time to go. Yet he knocked again, curiously convinced that there was someone in there. And this time he was rewarded with a slow shuffling of house slippers. I don't care. A pause at the door. Then, "Who's out there? I don't buy nothing. Go away." "I was told to visit you," Richard said. A peephole swung open with the minute's squeak, and a brown eye peeked through. Then the peephole closed with a snap. "I don't know you." Flat dismissal. "I was told to ask for Elton Pericus." Grudgingly. "Oh, you're one of those." Behind the door, locks began to turn, bolts began to be unbolted, one by one. Chains dropped. There was a click of revolving tumblers in one Yale lock, and then another. The chunk slap of a heavy-duty trap bolt being withdrawn. Joe, count how many locks that was. The door swung open and Richards looked at a scrawny woman with no breasts and huge knotted hands. Her face was unlined, almost cherubic, but it looked as if it had taken hundreds of invisible hooks and jabs and uppercuts in a no-holds-barred brawl with time itself. Perhaps time was winning, but she was not an easy bleeder. She was almost 6 feet tall, even in her flat, splayed slippers, and her knees were swollen into tree stumps with arthritis. Her hair was wrapped in a bath turban, her brown eyes staring at him from under a deep ledge of brow. The eyebrows themselves clung to the precipice like desperate mountain bushes struggling against the aridity and the altitude. Were intelligent and wild with what might have been fear or fury. Later he understood she was simply muddled, afraid, tottering on the edge of insanity. "I'm Virginia Pericus," she said flatly. "I'm Elton's mother. Come in." Minus 051 and counting. She did not recognize him until she had led him into the kitchen to brew tea. The house was old and crumbling and dark, furnished in a decor he recognized immediately from his own environment. Modern junk shop. "Elton isn't here now," she said, brooding over the battered aluminum teapot on the gas ring. The light was stronger here. Hold on, let me get my book here. This is really thick here, you know.
So I'm like, how do I hold this when I've only got this much to go? Alright, back up here.
Eldon isn't here now, she said, brooding over the battered aluminum teapot on the gas ring. The light was stronger here, revealing the brown water stains that blotched the wallpaper, the dead flies, souvenirs of summer past on the windowsills, the old linoleum creased with black lines, the pile of wet wrapping paper under the leaking drain pipe. There was an odor of disinfectant that made Richard think of last night in sick rooms. Of last nights in sick rooms. I was going to say late nights. She crossed the room, and her swollen fingers made a painful search through the heaped junk on the countertop until they found 2 tea bags. One of them previously used. Richard's got the used one. He was not surprised. You headed out? He works, she said, faintly.
Mom. Yeah, I said, I might want to scoop.
I told Nick to go ahead and eat that. I'm going to make more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just bear with me. Let me finish what I'm reading.
I thought it was just expecting to keep.
Oh, no, that's a second bowl. And there wasn't much in there. So I just told him to go ahead and eat. Do you want... I don't know if there's cheese. I don't know if you want to buy some Parmesan cheese.
I mean, I could just get small.
Because
I'll just get a small thing.
Yeah, so I don't know if you want sauce or not.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go up to Giant Eagle for caffeine there.
Okay.
What?
I was just saying that I'm gonna have to go up to Giant Eagle for dark from caffeine because
I want...
Pops doesn't have.
Just let me speak. I want mocha and I want cigarettes. Thank you. That's all. I had to say it, man. But yeah, if you get cat food and dog food, and then get a small thing of Parmesan.
Where'd you get these?
Walmart. Why?
Because I'm wanting a pair of wireless.
Which ones do you have?
I have wired ones. And they're getting really annoying.
Do they work the same way?
You have to.
What do you mean? Oh. Wait, what do you mean you have to twist them?
Like, I have to twist them because
You said they're wired.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could use them in my computer. Because I use Daddy's upstairs.
Yeah, but then you won't be able to get back with.
Oh, I only use the headphones when I'm doing this. I'm not listening to anything. I use the headphones to keep out some noise so I can concentrate. That's all. Hey, that's where the lotion went. Don't use it all. Now, what was the point of that? What was the point of that? Did you just turn, see it, and be like, okay, I'm going to go do this? That was just confusing. You just picked up the lotion and moved it. Like, are you cleaning, waiting, or what are you doing? I'm like, I was looking for that. Hey, that's what I'm looking for. That blue piece. It's to my container. Thank you. I couldn't figure out where it was. Yeah. Those cards can go in the drawers of my little stand there.
I'm also going to get myself a new charger because I stepped on mine and it bent the... Yeah.
Ooh.
It was dark. I wasn't paying attention. So.
Borrow $6?
Hmm?
I have to mess with y'all. Y'all are going to the store. $6.20. What? I want to borrow $6.20. Hey, your brother finished my last one, so the only way for me to get through things is a little bit of a humor. So just bear with me. I'm good, actually. I'm enjoying this. I'm reading. Bye. Love you. Didn't even say bye. He just walks out the door. Yes, if I don't have a little bit of humor, I will go completely nuts. But so far today, I'm doing good. I haven't had a smoke since last night. I'm super. I'm actually doing pretty good considering I've been fighting with little man in there. He's not so little. All right, so Richards got the used one. He was not surprised. He works, she said, faintly accentuating the first word and making the statement an accuser. You're from that fellow in Boston, the one LT writes to about pollution, ain't you? Yes, Miss Perkins. They met in Boston. My Elton Services automatic vending machines. She preened from the moment and then began her slow trek back across the dunes of linoleum to the stove. I told LT that what that Bradley was doing was against the law. I told him it would mean prison or even worse. He doesn't listen to me, not to his old mom. He doesn't. She smiled with dark sweetness at that cat at that clammy. Excuse me. Elton was always building things, you know. He built a tree house with 4 rooms out back when he was a boy. That was before they cut the elm down, you know. But it was the darkie's idea that he should build a pollution station in Portland. She popped the bags into cups and stood with her back to Richard, slowly warming her hands over the gas ring. They write each other. I told him the mails aren't safe. You'll go to prison or even worse, I said. He said, but Mom, we do it in code. He asked for a dozen apples. I tell him my uncle is a little worse. I said, LT, do you think they can't figure out this secret spy stuff out? Figure that secret spy stuff out. He doesn't listen. Oh, he used to. He used to be his best friend. I used to be his best friend. But things have changed. The mom that wants to be the best friend. Boy. I want to be friends with the kids now, but still, I gotta be disciplinary too. Since he got to puberty, things have changed. Dirty magazines under his bed and all that business. Now this darky, I suppose they caught you testing smogs or carcinogens or something, and now you're on the run. It doesn't matter, she said fiercely at the window. It looked out on a backyard filled with rusting pieces of junk and tire rims. Some little boy's sandbox that now, many years later, was filled with scruffy October woods. It doesn't matter, she repeated. It's the darkies. She turned to Richards and her eyes were hooded and furious, bewildered. I'm 65, but I was only a fresh young girl of 19 when it began to happen. It was 1979 and the darkies were everywhere. Everywhere. Yes, they were. She nearly screamed as if Richards had taken issue with her. Everywhere. They sent those darkies to school with the whites. They sent them high in the government. Radicals, rabble-rousing, and rebellion. I ain't so... She broke off as if the words had been splintered from her mouth. She stared at Richards, seeing him for the first time. Oh, God have mercy, she whispered. Miss Perkins. Nope, she said with a hoarse voice. Nope, oh, nope. She began advancing on him, pausing at the counter to pick up a long, gleamed butcher knife out of the general clutter. Out, out, out! She got up and began to back away slowly, first through the short hall between the kitchen and the shadowy living room, then through the living room itself. He noticed that the ancient payphone hung on the wall from the days when this had been a bona fide inn. Oh, that an ancient smartphone. The blue door guests. When was that? Richards wondered. 20 years ago? 40? Before the darkies had gotten out of hand, or after? He was just beginning to back down the hall between the living room and the front door when a key rattled in the lock. They both froze as if some celestial hand had stopped the film while deciding what to do next. The door opened and Elton Perkis walked in. He was immensely fat, wow, and his lackluster blonde hair was combed back in preposterous waves from his forehead to show a round baby face that held an element of perpetual puzzlement. He was wearing the blue and gold uniform of the Vendo Spendo Company. He looked thoughtfully at Virginia Perkis. "Put that knife down, Mom!" "Nope," she cried, but already the crumpling of defeat had begun to putty her face. Perkis closed the door and began walking toward her. He jiggled. She shrank away. "You have to make him go, son. He's that bad man, that Richards. It'll mean prison or worse. I don't want you to go." Oh, I see what she's saying. She doesn't want her son to go. She began to wail, dropped the knife, and collapsed into his arms. He enfolded her and began to rock her gently as she wept. "I'm not going to jail," he said. "Come on, Mom. Don't cry. Please don't cry." He smiled at Richards over one of her hunched and shaking shoulders. An embarrassed, awfully sorry about this smile, Richards waited. "Now," Perkins said, when the sobs had died to sniffles, "Mr. Richards is Bradley Throckmorton's good friend, and he is going to be with us for a couple of days, Mom." She began to shrink, and he clapped a hand over her mouth, wincing as he did so. "Yes, Mom. Yes, he is. I'm going to drive his car into the park and wire it, and you'll go out tomorrow morning with a package to mail to Cleveland." "Boston," Richard said automatically. "Tapes go to Boston." "They go to Cleveland now," Elton Perkins said, with a patient smile. "Bradley's on the run." "Oh, Jesus. They'll be on the run, too." Mrs. Perkins howled at her son. "You'll be on the run, too," her son. "And they'll catch you, too. You're too fat. I'm going to take Mr. Richards upstairs and show him his room, Mom." Mr. Richards, why don't you call him by his right name? Poison!" He disengaged her with great gentleness, and Richards followed him obediently up the shadowy staircase. "There are a great many rooms up here," he said, panting slightly as his huge buttocks flexed and clenched. "This used to be a rooming house many years ago, when I was a baby. You'll be able to watch the street." "Maybe I'd better go," Richard said. "If Bradley's blown, your mother may be right." "This is your room," he said, and threw open the door. On a dusty, damp room that held the weight of years. He did not seem to have heard Richard's comment. "It's not much of an accommodation, I'm afraid, but..." He turned to face Richards with his patient, I want to please smile. "You may stay as long as you want. Bradley Throckmorton is the best friend I've ever had." The smile faltered a bit. "The only friend I've ever had. I'll watch after my mom. Don't worry." Richards only repeated, "I better go." "You can't, you know. That head bandage didn't even fool Mom for long. I'm going to drive your car to a safe place, Mr. Richards. We'll talk later." He left quickly, lumberingly. Richards noted that the seat of his uniform pants was shiny. He seemed to leave a faint odor of apologia in the room. Pulling the ancient green shade aside a little, Richard saw him emerge on the cracked front walk below and get into the car. Then he got out again. He hurried back toward the house, and Richards felt a stab of fear. Ponderously
We
climbing...
have 27 minutes. That means 27 would be close to
Ah. Ponderously climbing tread on the stairs, the door opened and Elton smiled at Richards. "Mom's right," he said. "I don't make a very good secret agent. I forgot the keys."
Good, of course. After 2
Richards
o'clock,
gave
it'll be 30 minutes.
Richards gave them to him and then
You mean
essayed a
if you're
joke.
not-
"Half a secret agent is better than none."
Say Uno.
It stuck a sour cord or no cord at all. Elton Perkins carried his torments with him too clearly, and Richards could almost hear the phantom jeering voices of the children that would follow him forever, like small tugs behind the big liner. "I'm talking and you're being rude.
I was playing
You
Uno.
can give me a second." Jeering voices of the children that would follow him forever, like small tugs behind a big liner. "Thank you," Richards said softly. Perkins left, and the little car that Richards had came from New Hampshire in was driven away toward the park. "Put that table back up on the other side. Nicholas, listen to what I'm saying. Do you see the table?"
Here we go.
"No. The one behind my desk."
That one.
This one?
"Stand it up."
Yeah, we can put that one.
"No, I'm going to have you put my beads on it. Then you can have the table back. See if you can put it up over there."
Right here?
Will it fit over there?
I don't think so.
You don't think it'll fit over there?
Let's look. It fits almost.
All right, go ahead and put them there. Put the beads on them. And you're going to need to do it
How'd this
by
get here?
picking up... It was in the vacuum. You're lucky. It's stuck in the hose. I have them in piles, so put them on the table in piles. Thank you. "Thank you," Richards said softly. Perkins left, and the little car that Richards had come in from New Hampshire was driven away toward the park. Richards pulled the dust cover from the bed and lay down slowly, breathing shallowly and looking at nothing but the ceiling. The bed seemed to clutch him in a perversely damp embrace, even through the coverlet in his clothes. An odor of mildew drifted through the channels of his nose like a senseless rhyme. Downstairs, Elton's mother was weeping. And we are at 050. And we're at 2 hours, which is different. I don't usually get that. Oh my god. Okay. Do you have a good sense of humor, or is it more like you have a really good sense of humor, right?
Yeah.
It's not prudish at all. And if you saw a joke, okay, I have to show you something that Ron sent me, and I sent my friend, and my friend took it like really literally, and so I had to explain it to him. But I'm like, why is my friend being an a-hole? I don't know. Stop being a butthead.
Hello.
Why do you have the cat?
I can pet him.
I'm pretty sure you're going to get this joke too, like I did. But if not, I will. I just lost my job at the donut shop.
Well,
Oh, no.
I'm like, it took me a second, and then I was like, oh, those are cool fingers.
Yeah.
And then the other ones, and I'm like,
where are the fingers going now?
And then I was like, oh my god, no.
That I got her away.
No, because some people take it like really literally, and they'll be like, you know,
I don't know. If I was at a donut shop and I saw that, I'd probably get it.
I just
I'll
was
take a
like,
picture of it.
I
Sure.
was like, what the heck? Like, at first, I like I said, it was like this, and this is like that rock thing, right?
Yeah.
So the other ones, I'm looking, I'm like, why did he frost?
What to
Oh
do?
my God, is how my brain, like, kind of processed it. Oh, Lord. That was just, that was downright, wow, hilarious. But it was, it's still funny. No. How many pages have we gone through so far? All right, so we've gone about 100, and that's funny. Wow. It doesn't seem like we've
Mom?
gone through that much. What?
No, turn it on.
So turn off, Nick. Did you turn off and then turn on, or did did the extension get turned off and you had to turn it back on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be what happened.
Press
So
it for slow charger.
earlier, huh? Yeah, it's gonna slow charge. Try one of the other boxes. Earlier I was vacuuming, which is, the floor looks a little better to me anyway.
Give me a second.
It doesn't look as black from all the dog's dirty feet. Yeah. And so it looks a lot better. I still have to clean it, like carpet clean it wise, but it looks so much better now. And Amanda comes tomorrow, so we meet Amanda tomorrow, and then I'm gonna see if they want to go out, because then at 2 we're meeting Phil.
Oh, you guys meet Phil too? Oh,
Mm-hmm. So we'll know how the first day, pretty much how the first day goes.
sure. Yeah.
And
Today or tomorrow?
tomorrow. And the nice thing is Ron's off, so he'll be able to meet her too.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because if he has to work, he's usually like hiding upstairs. But tomorrow that he's off, he'll probably be up and down.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he came down today. It's just quieter up there.
Sure.
He's quieter than me. I'm a loud person. I don't know how we get along, but yeah.
Sometimes opposites attract. Everyone has.
It's got to be, because I will sit and argue with you. Nowadays, I'm trying not to, but I will sit and argue with you. I will be mad and angry and explosive, but it's not the Libra. It's everything else, My mental health is what causes me to be like that, and so I have to literally be mindful and not do that, which is why I didn't strangle him, even though I'd like to. Just take my book and go, "Argh!" Which is what I did with the walk. I was holding it up and I was like, come here. This is what. Do you ever see those cartoons, is what I asked him about the cast iron? Yeah. That's always funny, I think. It's always hilarious to see those. But yeah, we are on 050 now, so we can keep going or we can stop. I could probably keep going. If you guys don't mind me keep going, I'm going to keep reading. Awesome. Now that I've leaned back a little bit, I can actually sit up now. Told you my hair is a mess.
If you read,
Just go here.
Uno.
How do you get Uno already?
I know, that's bad.
Like, what the heck? Have you even had that many rounds?
See, I always read the best. Mm-hmm.
Wow. This child. Alright. Mine is 050 and counting. If you guys need me, let me know. I put these in to concentrate so I don't hear all the sounds out everywhere.
And we'll go a little bit before 2, and he's been streaming. So.
Oh, yeah. You guys got about 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read for another 20 minutes. And then I'll stop so that you can play your stream and not have to worry about it. How about that?
Here's the live stream.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'll read 050 and then we'll stop. It's like a page and a half. Cool? Okay. So we're going to read a little bit more, and then I'm going to stop because he's going to watch a live stream, and I don't want him to have to turn it down. So he gets rewarded for it. It's awesome. He joined Twitch yesterday. Hi. Minus 050 and counting. He dozed a little but could not sleep. Darkness was almost full when he heard Elton's heavy tread on the stairs again. and Richard swung his feet onto the floor with relief. When he knocked and stepped in, Richard saw that Perkins had changed into a tent-like sports shirt, and a pair of jeans. Good Lord. I did it, he said. It's in the park. Will it be stripped? No, Elton said. I have a gadget, a battery, and 2 alligator clips. If anyone puts his hand or a crowbar on it, they'll get a shock and a short blast on a siren. Works good. I built it myself. He seated himself with a heavy sigh. What's this about Cleveland? Richard demanded. It was easy, he found, to demand of Elton. Perkins shrugged. Oh, he's a fellow like me. I met him once in Boston at a library with Bradley. Our little pollution club. I suppose Mom said something about that. He rubbed his hands together and smiled unhappily. She said something, Richard agreed. She's a little dim, Perkins said. She doesn't understand much of what's been happening for the last 20 years or so. She's frightened all the time. I'm all she has. Will they catch Bradley? I don't know. He's got quite a intelligence network. But his eyes slipped away from Richard's. The door opened and Miss Perkins stood there. Her arms were crossed and she was smiling and her eyes were haunted. I've called the police, she said. Now you'll have to go. Elton's face drained to a pearly yellowish white. You're lying. Richard lurched to his feet and then paused, his head cocked in a listening gesture. Faintly rising, the sound of sirens. She's not lying, he said. A sickening sense of futility swept him. Back to square one. Take me to the car. Oh, jeez. Give me a minute. Hello? Hey. What happened?
For 2. Skip you. Yellow.
You gotta say.
Oh no.
Oh, Jesus, I thought you got hit, actually got hit front end. But your voice wasn't telling me that. Oh.
Yellow. Oh no.
They're idiots. Did you beep at them?
It's a close game, man.
Wow. Yeah. Did you happen to get a look at the vehicle, license plate, anything?
It's 145.
Are you by yourself?
So that means
15 minutes.
Oh, God. I was going to say, I didn't hear Chris in the background. Are you okay? It happens because people don't pay attention. They're assholes. They're assholes. Have them, when you take it to the shop, you're going to be out for a while, okay? You need to let Chris know that you're going to be out for quite a while. All right? You don't have the kids with you, right? Okay, listen. Huh? Geico has towing, okay? You're going to need to, do you have your paper on your phone for the phone number? If not, I can give it to you real quick. Yeah, I'm actually going to send it to you. You have on your phone the insurance, right? Hold on. Yes, I can. Actually, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to get on my email here real quick, okay? I'm going to come up with the cards, and I'm going to email you your card, all right? You're welcome. Listen, it's going to be okay. Let's see. Billing, not okay. Schedule.
Yeah, they don't know.
I don't know.
No, a lot of times it's because they are in such a rush, they don't care to pay attention. They're rude, they're obnoxious, and they don't care. And why is it?
Yellow.
Exactly.
Yellow.
Okay, I don't know why that's there, but that's in the wrong place. But for now, let's see. We're going to see what these documents are. If I can't figure out what these documents are, I'll just have it emailed back to me. So, I'm just trying to figure out what each one. Okay, go ahead. I'm going to get this done while you do that. Really, Nick?
What?
Really?
Fine.
What the heck did they say? Oh, wait, that's not even. No wonder. That's why that's there. I know I have these. You know. Yes, my kiddo's okay. She just got pushed off the road, so she's a little on edge, but she's okay. So, we get our cards printed out here. I'm gonna mail it to her, email it to her. ID cards, yada yada yada. Why can't they just let you email them right then and there? I just need them for the fusion. Like, which ones are these?
What you?
Okay, these are mine.
Respect me. Red.
Alright. No, I don't need to register it.
Yellow.
Go for it, you mean.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2,
Yes.
3, 4.
Yep.
I need to get these emailed to me so that I can get them to her.
Go 2. My turn still?
Your turn.
Go 2. That makes it 4.
Thank you to Loser for Life 13 for the follow. That is very sweet of you. Let's wait for this to. There we go.
Oh no!
And yes,
Yellow.
okay. Fusion.
Uno.
And still Uno.
Dang.
Needed to set a system to show people mobile app a quick and easy way
Yeah,
to
we have 8
question
minutes.
We'll play.
On my phone it says 8.
I mean, we could do that.
What?
I need to get
But now that's slow it behind.
Yeah.
In the microwave way. I think the microwave needs a digital kind, like the phone kind.
What are you talking about?
In other words, of saying the kitchen clock needs a digital phone kind. The windows that go beep boop beep.
Beep boop beep?
In other words,
are you a beep boop beep?
In other words, instead of numbers, this is digital clock.
Ah.
And those come back to future too.
Okay, I'm going to give her the login.
Question?
Okay, let's see. Can I click online services?
Right.
Online.
It's 4 nights ago. 2
Dashboard. Change of tire. They'll pay. They may not pay for the tire, but they'll pay for the change of tire.
Oh, yeah. Ah.
That's nice.
What color?
Blue.
Okay, go ahead.
Got 2. Like always.
What's it?
1, 2. Skip you.
I
Gone.
can't believe somebody ran her off the road. Jesus.
Right.
Yeah, my kiddo's like an hour from her house, and she's been pushed off the road by another vehicle. So, I am going to let y'all go. She's okay, though. She's safe.
Yeah, it's close.
And she has somebody with her.
Like 5 minutes left.
She's not by herself.
Yeah, like you said, it's 5
And she
minutes
just
and
needs
10
to
seconds left
get her tire fixed.
on my
so
phone. I just look
good.
it up.
We'll know if there's any other damage after that. But the insurance will take care of everything.
Now
So
4 minutes. Yeah.
y'all have a good day, and I'm be.
Get on a couple minutes early.
All right. God bless.
On your
We will
stream.
continue later.
Just make sure you're on there.
Yeah, just in case.
I mean, I guess I could. You know what? Well, she's got me on hold. I'm going to keep going. She's not lying, he said. A sickening sense of futility swept him. Back to square one. Take me to my car. She's lying, Elton insisted. He rose, almost touched Richard's arms, then withdrew his hand as if the other man may be hot to the touch. They're fire trucks. Take me to my car, quick. The sirens were becoming louder and rising and falling, wailing. The sound filled Richard's with a dreamlike horror. Locked in here with these 2 crazies while... Mother! His face was twisted, beseeching. I called them, she bleated, and seized one of her son's bloated arms as if to shake him. I had to, for you. That darky has got you all mixed up. We'll say he broke in, and we'll get the reward money. Come on, Elton grunted to Richards and tried to shake free of her. But she clung stubbornly. Like a small dog, bedeviling a Persian. I had to. You gotta stop this radical business, LT. You've got to. LT, he screamed. LT! And he flung her away. She skidded across the room and fell across the bed. Quick, Elton said, his face full of terror and misery. Oh, come quick. They crashed and blundered down the stairs and out the front door, Elton breaking into gigantic, quivering trot. Hold on.
I'm talking. What?
Says we kill.
Just stand there for a second, okay? Just let me finish. He was beginning to pant again, and upstairs, filtered both through the closed window and the open window, or in the open door upstairs, Mrs. Paracus screamed. Scream rose to the shriek, which met and mixed and blended with the approaching sirens. I did it for you, and that's where we stop.
What?
Did you get on your stream?
So,
Give me a finger.
I'm gonna let it go,
And like, this
and
is
we
cute
will
kitty.
talk soon.
Yeah.
Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
Well, it's